So here's the deal, AITA for refusing to give my colleague a ride home because he's never once offered to chip in for gas and now he's out here calling me greedy? I swear, this whole mess started out as a simple favor, but it's morphed into something that's got me questioning my entire moral compass. Picture this, me, stuck in a beat-up hatchback with a guy who smells like burnt popcorn in the middle of a desert town where the only nightlife is the buzz of cicadas and the occasional tumbleweed rolling by like it's late for a meeting. It's absurd, and yet here I am, the bad guy, apparently. Let me back up. I'm a 28-year-old field biologist, think less Jurassic Park and more counting beetles in the dirt for science. I've been stationed in this nowhere Nevada town for 6 months, studying some rare lizard that only comes out when it feels like it. My life is me, my '09 Subaru, and a playlist of podcasts about cryptids because the cell signal out here is a joke. My nearest neighbor is 20 miles away and the only grocery store doubles as a bait shop. It's the kind of place where you start talking to the gas pump just to hear a voice that isn't your own. Enter Dave. Dave's my coworker, 35, lanky, with a mustache that looks like it's trying to escape his face. He's the kind of guy who carries a reusable coffee tumbler everywhere but never washes it. There's a permanent ring of brown sludge inside that I swear moves when he's not looking. We're on the same research team, which means we spend days trudging through sand and sagebrush, cataloging lizard tracks, and arguing about whether the plural of cactus sounds cooler as cacti or cactuses. He's not terrible company, honestly. He's got this dry humor that lands half the time, and he once made a PowerPoint about why Bigfoot could totally survive out here. But Dave has one fatal flaw: he's a freeloader with the subtlety of a freight train. It started innocently enough. His truck broke down a month into the gig, something about a busted alternator and a mechanic who only takes cash or jars of homemade jam. Our field site is a 40-minute drive from town, and since I'm already heading that way, I offered to pick him up. No biggie, I said, brushing it off like the chill, team player scientist I am. First day, he says thanks and hands me a granola bar from his pocket, crumpled, but fine, whatever, it's a gesture. Second day, nothing. Third day, he's got his feet up on my dashboard, scrolling X on his phone, complaining about how Elon's ruining the algorithm again. By week 2, he's treating my car like his personal Uber, blasting his weird lo-fi beats through my AUX cord and leaving empty Monster cans rolling around the floorboards. Here's the kicker: gas isn't cheap, and the nearest station is a Shell that charges $5 a gallon because they know you've got no other options. I'm not rolling in cash, my stipend barely covers ramen and the occasional splurge on a $3 shower at the truck stop. I hinted at it once, casual like, man, these gas prices are killing me. Dave just nodded, mid-sip of his rancid coffee, and said, yeah, capitalism's wild, then went back to liking memes about tax evasion. Not a single offer to Venmo me a dime. I let it slide because I'm not confrontational. My friends call me Pushover Pete for a reason, but every time I swiped my card at the pump, I could feel my soul shriveling. The breaking point hit last Thursday. It had been a brutal day, 110 degrees, no lizards, just me and Dave sweating through our khakis while he rambled about how he's basically a minimalist because he owns 3 shirts. We're packing up and I'm fantasizing about the lukewarm LaCroix waiting in my motel fridge when he goes, hey, mind swinging by the post office on the way back? Need to grab a package. That's an extra 15 minutes and I'm already running on fumes, both the car and me. I snap. Dude, I've been driving you for weeks. You ever gonna pitch in for gas? He blinks, mustache twitching, like I just asked him to donate a kidney. It's not like I'm forcing you, he says. You offered. I lose it just a little. Yeah, I offered once, not to be your chauffeur while you treat my car like a landfill. He scoffs, crosses his arms, and mutters, didn't peg you for greedy, man. It's just a ride. Then he grabs his backpack and stomps off toward the highway like he's gonna hitchhike the 20 miles back to town in flip-flops. I sat there, engine idling, half tempted to peel out and leave him to the coyotes. But I didn't. I drove off solo, windows down, yelling at the empty passenger seat like it was Dave's ghost. Friday, he doesn't show at the field site. Monday, he's there but won't look at me, muttering to our supervisor about some people being petty. By Tuesday, word spread, our tiny team of 5 is split. Sarah, the grad student with the nose ring, says I'm right, gas is a shared burden. Tim, the grizzled old botanist, thinks I'm a jerk for not sucking it up. Back in my day, we walked uphill both ways. Dave's been texting the group chat. Yes, we have one. It's called Lizard Losers, about how I abandoned him, complete with a dramatic screenshot of his Venmo bio. Cash is king, but kindness is free. Barf. Now I'm the villain. Dave's got half the team buying him coffee out of pity, and I'm dodging side-eye like it's my job. I tried texting him yesterday, look, just chip in a few bucks, we're cool, but he left me on read. My Subaru smells like freedom again, but I'm second-guessing everything. Did I overreact? Was I too harsh on a guy who's just clueless, not malicious? I'm not greedy, I'd give my last granola bar to a stranger, but there's a limit, right? So, Reddit, I'm sitting here in my motel room scrolling X for lizard memes to calm down, wondering if I'm the asshole. Dave's out there painting me as some selfish jerk, and I just wanted to not go broke ferrying him around the desert. AITA? Okay. Reddit, I need your judgment. AITA for parking in a handicapped spot, because there were literally no other spaces. Only to find an angry note slapped on my windshield from some stranger? I'm still shaking my head over this one, mostly because it happened at, of all places, a vintage pinball arcade in the middle of a rainstorm, and now I'm wondering if I accidentally became the villain in someone else's redemption arc. It's not like I woke up thinking, let's ruin a rainy Tuesday. But here we are. I'm 32, a freelance graphic designer who's way too into niche hobbies. Think bullet journaling and collecting old arcade tokens. I live in this quirky coastal town where the main drag is all thrift shops, overpriced coffee, and a pinball arcade called Tiltatron that's been around since the 70s. It's my happy place. $5 gets you unlimited plays, the machines clank and ding like they're alive, and the owner, Gus, knows everyone by their high score, not their name. I'm Galaga Girl to him because I once racked up 87,000 points on the machine in the corner. The parking lot, though, a nightmare. It's this tiny gravel patch with maybe 8 spots. One of them handicapped, squeezed between a dumpster and a mural of a mermaid riding a skateboard. Tuesday was a mess from the jump. I'd been up all night finishing a logo for a client who kept changing their mind. More teal. No, less teal. Wait, what's teal again? And by noon, I was a jittery wreck running on cold brew and spite. The sky opened up, dumping rain so hard my wipers couldn't keep up, and I just needed an escape. Tiltatron was calling my name. I pull into the lot, and it's packed. Every spot taken by beat-up sedans and a Prius with a coexist bumper sticker that's peeling at the edges. Except for the handicapped spot. Blue lines, faded but clear, with that little wheelchair symbol staring up at me through the downpour. I hesitated. I don't have a placard. My knees work fine, unless you count that time I tripped over my cat and bruised my ego more than my shins. But the rain was biblical. My hoodie was already soaked from the dash to my mailbox earlier, and the arcade's neon sign was flickering like a beacon of salvation. I figured, it's a Tuesday afternoon. Who's coming out in this weather with a disability? So I parked, grabbed my token pouch, and bolted inside, promising myself I'd move if someone needed it. Famous last words, right? Inside, it's paradise. The air smells like burnt popcorn and WD-40, and the machines are humming Star Wars, Creature from the Black Lagoon, a wonky Indiana Jones one that eats your quarters if you tilt too hard. Gus nods at me from behind the counter, where he's polishing a flipper button with a rag. There's maybe 6 other people. A goth teen smashing buttons, an old guy in a trucker hat nursing a root beer, and a couple arguing over whether Pac-Man or Ms. Pac-Man is the real GOAT. I'm 3 games deep into Galaga, lasers blasting when I start to relax. The rain's drumming the roof, but I'm dry. I'm winning. Life's good. 2 hours later, I'm out of tokens and my wrist hurts from mashing the fire button. I head out, and there's this soggy post-it stuck under my wiper, ink bleeding but legible. You're a selfish jerk. People need this spot. Hope you feel great. My stomach drops. The lot's still full. Rain's still pouring, and there's no one around. No car waiting, no one waving a cane at me. Just this note judging me like it's got a law degree. I look around, half expecting a hidden camera, but it's just me and the mermaid mural, her skateboard now looking accusatory. I peel out, note crumpled in my fist, and spend the drive home spiraling. Did someone need the spot? Was there a grandma with a walker I didn't see, cursing my name as she slogged through the mud? I've never done this before. My usual MO is circling lots like a vulture until someone leaves. But it was raining, I was fried, and Tiltatron's my sanctuary. Still, that note hit me like a gut punch. I pictured some poor soul stranded, and suddenly my high score felt less victorious. By the time I get home, my ex feed's blowing up. Someone posted in the town's group chat, "Silver hatchback in the handicapped spot at Tiltatron. Classy move. No photo, but it's obviously me." Replies are split. What a dick versus chill. It's not like anyone died. Gus even chimes in, "Galaga girl's cool. Prob just a brain fart. Great, now I'm infamous." My best friend, Mia, texts me a screenshot with "You okay? Parking bandit?" and a laughing emoji. I'm not laughing. I'm mortified. I tried to fix it. Posted an apology in the chat. "Hey, that was me. Bad call, won't happen again. Sorry if I screwed anyone over." Crickets. Then some rando replies, "Too late, damage done." Mia says I'm overthinking it, that the no-triter's probably a serial complainer who carries post-its just to shame people. Maybe she's right, there's this guy in town, Clipboard Carl, who's always measuring sidewalks and yelling about ADA stuff. Could have been him. But I don't know, and that's the worst part. So, Reddit, I'm hunched over my laptop, rain still tapping my window, feeling like a pinball caught between bumpers. I know I shouldn't have parked there, but it wasn't malice, just exhaustion and a dumb split-second choice. The notes burned into my brain, though, and now I'm that jerk to someone out there. AITA for taking the spot, or is this guilt trip overkill? Alright, Reddit, I need you to weigh in. AITA for asking a taxi driver to turn off his radio because the music was driving me up the wall, only for him to call me picky and turn it into a whole thing? I'm still reeling from this, mostly because it went down in a neon-lit taxi hurtling through a city I barely know, and now I'm wondering if I'm the jerk for wanting 5 minutes of peace instead of a playlist straight out of a bad 90s rom-com. I'm 26, a travel photographer who's been bouncing around Southeast Asia for the past 3 months, chasing shots of street markets and monsoon sunsets. I'm currently in Manila, chaotic, humid, a city that never sleeps and honks its horns to prove it. My life's a blur of hostels, instant noodles, and editing photos on a laptop with a cracked screen. I'm not high maintenance, give me a fan and a flat surface to crash on and I'm golden. But I've got this thing about noise. Maybe it's from years of tuning out my roommate's late-night gaming rants, but if I don't get quiet sometimes, my brain turns into a scrambled egg. Last night, I just wrapped a 12-hour shoot in Quiapo, think narrow alleys, fish vendors yelling, and a church bell that rings like it's mad at you. I was beat, soaked in sweat, and hauling my camera bag like it was a sack of bricks. My hostel's across town and the jeepneys were packed, so I splurged on a taxi. It rolls up, this bright yellow sedan with a dented fender and a bobblehead of a saint glued to the dash. The driver's this guy, maybe 40, with a buzz cut and a vape pen dangling from his lips like it's part of his face. He's blasting music, some synth-heavy love ballad with lyrics about eternal hearts and a beat that sounds like a washing machine on spin cycle. I slide in, wincing, and mutter a weak "hi" over the noise. We're weaving through traffic, horns blaring outside, and this song is relentless. It's not even good bad music, it's just loud, whiny, and looping the same chorus like it's trying to brainwash me. My head's throbbing, my ears are ringing from the day, and I can feel every note clawing at my last nerve. I lean forward, polite as I can manage. "Hey, could you turn the radio off? It's been a long day." He glances at me in the rearview, vape cloud curling around his head, and goes, "You don't like music?" I blink. "Not this music," I say, trying to laugh it off. "Can you just lower it, then?" He snorts, takes a drag, and says, "Picky, huh? Everyone likes this song." Then he cranks it louder. I'm stunned, like, did I just get sass-vaped? I sit back, jaw tight, staring at the Saint bobblehead like it's gonna mediate this for me. The next song kicks in, same vibe, different woman wailing about forever promises, and I'm losing it. "Look," I say, louder now, "I'm not trying to be a jerk, but I really need it off. Please." He rolls his eyes, mutters something in Tagalog I don't catch, and jabs the volume down to a low hum. "Happy now, princess," he says, smirking like he's won. I'm too tired to snap back, so I just mumble, thanks, and slump against the window, watching rain streak the glass while the Saint nods along to the muted beat. The rest of the ride's tense. He's humming off key, tapping the wheel, sneaking glances at me like I'm some diva who demanded caviar. We hit my hostel, I tipped him decently because I'm not a monster, and he peels off, radio blasting again before I'm even out of earshot. I trudge upstairs, collapse on my bunk, and try to shake it off, but it's gnawing at me. Was I rude? I didn't yell, didn't curse him out. I just wanted silence after a day that already felt like a jackhammer to my skull. But his picky jab stuck, maybe I came off entitled, some spoiled tourist barking orders. This morning, I'm scrolling X while the hostel's communal kettle screeches and I see a local meme page roasting Karens who complain about everything: traffic, food, noise. Cue paranoia, am I that person? My shoot buddy, Ravi, says I'm fine, drivers deal with worse, and I wasn't screaming or threatening to one-star him on Grab. But then I told my hostel bunkmate, Lena, and she frowned. It's his car, his rules. You could have just dealt with it. Now I'm split. I've ridden taxis in Bangkok, Hanoi, Jakarta, no issues. Maybe it's a cultural thing I misread, or maybe I'm just a noise-hating grump. So, Reddit, I'm sipping instant coffee, staring at my camera lens like it's got answers, and I need your take. I asked for the radio off because it was shredding my sanity, but he acted like I was asking him to ditch his firstborn. AITA for pushing it, or was he overreacting to a simple request? Okay. Reddit, I need some clarity. ITA for not giving up my subway seat to a woman juggling a million bags because I was wiped out, only for her to turn it into a public shaming session? I'm still rattled, mostly because this went down on a sweaty, packed train in the underbelly of a city that smells like wet concrete and regret, and now I'm wondering if I'm the selfish jerk in the story, or if she just had a flair for drama. I'm 29, a barista and part-time DJ who's been grinding through life in Chicago. My days are a caffeine-fueled blur. 6 a.m. shifts at Brouhaha, where I sling oat milk lattes for hipsters, then late nights spinning lo-fi house beats at basement gigs. I live in a shoebox apartment with a mattress on the floor, and a roommate who thinks cleaning means shoving takeout boxes under the couch. The L train is my lifeline, red line, specifically, rattling through the loop like a metal beast that's seen too much. I'm not a saint, but I'm not a monster either. I've given up my seat before, held doors, all that jazz. Just not yesterday. It was a brutal Wednesday. I'd pulled a double shift because my coworker called out with food poisoning. Read. Hungover. Then DJ'd a warehouse party until 2 a.m. for a crowd that tipped me in loose change and a half-eaten vape cartridge. I caught maybe 3 hours of sleep, my back screaming from standing all day, and dragged myself onto the red line at rush hour to get home. The train was a sardine can. Suits scrolling LinkedIn, teens blasting TikTok audios, a guy in a Cubs hat manspreading like he owned the car. I snagged a seat by some miracle, sank into it, and plugged into my headphones. Chill hop playlist, my one defense against the chaos. My legs felt like lead, my eyes were gritty, and I was just trying to survive the 40-minute ride without passing out. Then she got on. Mid-40s, I'd guess, with a sharp bob haircut and a vibe that screamed, I've got a podcast about mindfulness. She was hauling 3 massive tote bags. Canvas, overflowing with what looked like yarn, groceries, and maybe a small dog. I didn't peek. She stumbles in at Lake Street, bags banging into people, and plants herself right in front of me. No words, just a loud sigh like Oscar-worthy. I glance up, see her swaying with the train, and think, rough day, huh? But I don't move. My body's a brick, and the thought of standing makes me want to cry. She sighs again, louder, and I pull one earbud out, waiting. You're not gonna offer your seat? She says, voice cutting through the rumble like a foghorn. Heads turn. I freeze. I'm really tired. I mumble, half apologetic, half dazed. Her eyes narrow. Tired? I've been on my feet all day carrying these. She hoists a bag like it's evidence in a trial. I blink, brain lagging. Sorry, I've been working all night. Wrong move. She scoffs, turns to the car, and announces, loud, this generation, no manners, just glued to their phones while we struggle. A few people nod, some smirk, and I'm shrinking into my hoodie, wishing I could teleport to my couch. I don't budge, partly stubbornness, partly because my knees are begging for mercy. She keeps going, muttering about entitlement and basic decency. Loud enough for the whole car to hear. The guy next to me, a dude in a Carhartt jacket, whispers, she's extra, but doesn't offer his seat either. She's glaring now, bags swaying like pendulums, and I'm just staring at my scuffed Vans, praying for my stop. At Fullerton, she huffs off, tossing a thanks for nothing over her shoulder as the doors beep shut. The car's quiet for a beat, then erupts. Some lady clucks her tongue, a teen snickers, And Carhartt guy shrugs like, what can you do? I get home, collapse, and can't shake it. My ex feed's full of Chicago moment memes, and I'm paranoid someone filmed it me, the tired jerk in the viral selfish subway guy clip. My coworker, Javi, says I'm fine. Public transit's a jungle, and I wasn't rude, just honest. But my sister, who's all about community vibes, texted me, you could have stood, dude. She had bags. I'm torn. I've given up seats for pregnant women, old folks, no hesitation. But this felt different. Her vibe was more performative victim than genuine need. And I was too wrecked to play hero. Still, that public call-out stings. Did I fail some unspoken test? So, Reddit. I'm sprawled on my mattress, scrolling X to avoid my reflection, and I need your verdict. I didn't give up my seat because I was exhausted, not spiteful, but she turned me into the poster boy for millennial apathy. AITA for holding my ground? Or should I have sucked it up and stood? Alright, Reddit, I need your take. AITA for passing my friend on my bike and not waiting for him because he was crawling along like a snail, only for him to get all bent out of shape about it. This whole thing unfolded on a dusty trail in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by more cows than people, and now I'm wondering if I'm the jerk for wanting to feel the wind in my face instead of babysitting his pace. I'm 31, a mechanic by day and a cycling nut by life. I've got grease under my nails 24/7 and a garage full of half-built bikes I swear I'll finish someday. I live in this rural stretch of Oregon where the roads are gravel, the Wi-Fi spotty, and the big event is the annual tractor pull. Cycling's my escape, nothing beats bombing down a hill, tires humming with just the sound of your own breath and the occasional mood to keep you company. My ride's a beat-up trek I've patched together over the years, neon green frame, mismatched pedals, and a bell that only works when it feels like it. It's not fancy, but it flies. My buddy Nate's 33, a high school art teacher with a vibe that's half hippie, half chaos goblin. He's got a beard that looks like it's staging a coup on his face and a wardrobe of tie-dye shirts that smell faintly of patchouli. We've been friends since he moved here 2 years ago, bonded over cheap beer and a shared hatred of HOE newsletters. He's not a cyclist, not really. His bike's this clunky red Schwinn he bought at a yard sale for $20, complete with a rusty chain and tires so bald they're basically pancakes. But last week, he texted me, "Want to ride the old logging trail Saturday? I need to get out." I said sure, picturing a chill cruise, maybe a pit stop for some jerky at the gas station halfway. Saturday rolls around, crisp and sunny, the kind of day that begs for a ride. We meet at the trailhead, me in my faded lycra shorts, Nate in cargo pants and a shirt with a psychedelic wolf on it. I'm pumped. The trail's 15 miles of rolling hills and pine trees with a killer descent at the end. We start pedaling and it's clear in 30 seconds we're not on the same page. I'm spinning at a steady clip, legs warm, heart pumping. Nate's back there, wobbling like a drunk flamingo, huffing loud enough to scare off the deer. I slow down, call out, "You good?" He waves a hand, grinning, "Yeah, just warming up." So I ease off, figuring he'll find his rhythm. 10 minutes in, I'm dying. He's poking along at maybe 5 miles an hour, stopping every quarter mile to admire the view or fiddle with his chain, which keeps slipping because he hasn't oiled it since the Bush administration. I'm itching to go. There's a stretch ahead with a smooth curve I've been dreaming about all week. I shout, "Hey, I'm gonna push ahead a bit, cool?" He nods, says, "Go for it, man." So I do. I crank the pedals, feel the gravel crunch, and let loose, wind whipping my face, tires singing, pure bliss. I hit the descent, whoop like a kid, and coast to the gas station, sweaty and grinning. 20 minutes later, Nate rolls up, red-faced and scowling. I'm munching jerky, leaning on my bike, and he doesn't even say hi, just launches in, "Dude, what the hell? You ditched me." I laugh, thinking he's joking. "You said go for it." He's not laughing. "Yeah, but I didn't mean leave me in the dust. I thought we were riding together." I point out he was going snail pace and I wasn't gonna crawl the whole trail. "It's not a race," he snaps, "it's supposed to be fun. You're so obsessed with speed, you forgot I was even there." He grabs a water from the cooler, slams the cash on the counter, and sits on a bench, radiating saltiness. I'm thrown. I didn't ditch him, he could have caught up eventually, and I waited at the end. But he's acting like I left him for dead. The ride back's brutal, silent, tense, him pedaling like he's punishing the bike. At the trailhead, he mutters, "Next time, I'll just stay home," and peels off in his dented Corolla. I'm left standing there, jerky wrapper in hand, feeling like a tool. Now it's Sunday, and he's not answering my texts, not even the meme I sent of a cow on a bike captioned "Nate on the trail." My girlfriend, Tara, says I'm fine. Nate knew I'm a speed freak, and he could have said he wanted me to stick close. But my coworker, Mike, thinks I'm a dick. You invited him, you should have matched his pace. I'm torn. I love flying solo, but maybe I misread the vibe. Did I turn a buddy hang into a solo sprint without realizing? Still, he said go for it, and I'm not his personal pace car. So, Reddit, I'm sprawled on my couch, scrolling X for bike fails to cheer myself up, and I need your call. I passed Nate because he was slow as hell, not to be a jerk, but now he's acting like I betrayed him. AITA for riding my way, or is he overreacting to a little trail dust?